Everybody loved the most dangerous cities video. So today we're actually going to flip the script. Because here's the truth. South Carolina isn't just affordable, it's home to some of the safest cities in the entire Southeast. And I'm not talking just feeling safe. I'm talking data-backed, FBI reported, boringly safe. One of the cities on this list literally dropped crime by over 90% in a single year. If you're moving to South Carolina with kids, retiring, or just looking over your shoulder, this video matters. We're counting down the top 10 safest cities in South Carolina. Then I'm staying on a little longer to break down Columbia and the surrounding suburbs. After all, this is where I do more real estate, is in the Midlands of Columbia, South Carolina. Don't skip ahead. The difference between city limits and suburbs can change your entire experience. Okay guys, my name's Chad Dorman and I'm the local realtor right here in Columbia, South Carolina. My channel is all about helping people relocate smart, not emotionally, not politically, not based on rumors, but on real numbers and real life. Now, if this is your first time to the channel and you like the information that you see here, please help me out by giving me a subscribe and hit that notification bell too, and you can be the first to find out every time I post a video here about the local market right here in the Midlands of Columbia, South Carolina. I love talking to people just like you guys every single day. These are the kind of calls, comments, texts, when you share videos that help me out, and I get to talk to people just like you every day through email. My favorite way, where you can actually log onto my calendar and set up a Zoom call where we can talk one-on-one. Now today's rankings are based on total crime per 1,000 residents. Now that includes violent crime and property crime, same as I did in the 10 most dangerous cities video. And it uses all the latest FBI data and SafeWise 2025 reports. This list is for families, retirees, military buyers, remote workers, and anyone just saying, I just want somewhere safe that doesn't cost me a fortune. Now let's go ahead and start counting them down. Fast, clean, and honest. Okay, let's start with number 10, Central South Carolina. Now Central is proof that small towns do still exist. With a population of just over 5,000 people, violent crime here is basically non-existent. It's about 0.7 per 1,000 people. Now, property crime does exist. It's even below the state average at 20 per 1,000 people. But what you want to remember is when you're talking about that property crime, 50 to 75% of that crime is people leaving their cars unlocked and leaving their houses unlocked at night when they leave and stuff. This one is about 15 minutes from Clemson, which is obviously big college town. It even has its own Wesleyan University, Southern Wesleyan University in Central, where they have their own small little college there as well. It is a upstate South Carolina college town without the college town chaos. So people want to live here because it's quiet. You want neighbors who wave to you, and you want to sleep at night without it having to check your alerts all the time. It's not flashy, it's just calm, and it's very safe. When my son went up to Clemson University, they had their disc golf course right there out of Central. If you like disc golf at all, that's an incredible course with 218 holes over there. Okay, number 9 on the list is Hanahan. Now Hanahan is in the lower portion of South Carolina, right there near Charleston. It's actually one of the safest pockets in the Charleston metro area, and that matters. The total crime is around 16.6 per 1,000, well below the state averages. Matter of fact, this has been on the uptick. It was already a pretty safe place in South Carolina, but crime has been decreasing even more year over year. It's suburban, it's family oriented, and it's close enough to Charleston for work without paying the Mount Pleasant taxes. Hanahan only has about 22,000 in population. Mount Pleasant is closer to almost 100,000, which is insane that it's on the safest cities. And it's close enough though that you don't have to deal with those Mount Pleasant prices, even though it's one of the safest, but you can have that suburban, family oriented, close enough to Charleston for work without those prices. This is where people land when they say, I want low country life, but not low country crime or low country prices. They have quiet streets, solid schools, and a steady appreciation. Okay, number 8, Mount Pleasant. Now, Mount Pleasant isn't just another clever name. It's literally one of the most pleasant and safest larger cities here in South Carolina. It boasts 14.2 crimes per 1,000 people. Violent crimes around 1.4 per 1,000, property crime around 12.8 per 1,000. It surprises me more that this is on the list and is on the list consistently every single year. Reason is because it's 96,000 plus is the amount of population that is there. And for ones that size, it is roughly 72% safer than US cities of similar size anywhere. Now the problem is this makes it worth it. The homes are expensive, but it's polished. And there's a reason that families stretch budgets here. They have great schools, they have clean streets, they have consistently low crime, and this is where pay more, worry less living is and what it's all about. Matter of fact, I run the Cooper River Bridge every single year, the Cooper River Ridge Run, and just over Ravenel Bridge. If you go back to Columbia versus Charleston video, I had some great spots of Charleston that I took it in there from Mount Pleasant to Folly Beach to a lot of different areas. One of them was right there at the bridge, and it's beautiful. That is where the Cooper River Bridge Run starts every year, is right there in Mount Pleasant, and it ends in downtown Charleston. You want something that's fun, have a blast doing, you can even walk it. Mount Pleasant, one of the top places to go to as long as you can afford it for that extra housing than what you're talking about in, say, Columbia, Hanahan, and some of the different ones that we've talked about already in Central as well. All right, next, number 7, we're actually going to talk about Port Royal. This is basically where history meets serenity. Has a total crime rate of 13.8 per 1,000, violence at 1.4, property crimes at 12.4 per 1,000. And those numbers have been steadily declining also, making Port Royal safer year over year. To put that into perspective, Port Royal's crime rate's around 40 to 50% lower than the South Carolina average, which is a big deal. The town reported 0 murders, rapes, or robberies in the recent stats. It's one of only 3 South Carolina cities that can claim that clean of a slate. And it's in that area near Beaufort. I usually go down here when I get my oysters, if we're having a big oyster roast or anything. It's also close to Pierce Island, which is the, of course, Marine base. So it's got military down there too. It's basically coastal, historic, slow living in South Carolina. People here know each other, and that alone lowers crime. But if you want charm, water, and peace, Port Royal delivers on all 3 metrics. Number 6 on the list, Clover, South Carolina. Very small town comfort, but a big peace of mind. When you're talking about Clover, it's about 11.7 per 1,000 residents, which are very, very low. The violent crime has ticked up a little bit over the last year from 1.1 to 1.8 per 1,000. But the property crimes actually decreased to 9.9 per 1,000. It's 92% lower than any other total crime in South Carolina than the South Carolina averages. So roughly you have 1 in 89% chance of being a crime victim, which is incredibly low. And it's only a little town of about 7,800 people. It does not have a lot at all. It is close to Charlotte. It's about a 50 minutes to an hour drive from Charlotte. There's been no murders, no robberies in this town. Families love Clover because schools are strong, homes are affordable, and crime, it's just not a thing there. It's almost like Mayberry Energy, but they do have the internet there. Think of it that way. Okay, Bluffton at number 5. It's growing fast, but yet it's staying safe. It is growing. I mean, 20 years ago, it was in the thousands, and now all of a sudden their population's around 38,000. Compared to, it's right down there near Port Royal also, near Beaufort, Hilton Head. You're talking about Port Royal's around 13,000 to 16,000, and Bluffton's around 38,000. Yet it is still coming in at one of the lowest when you're talking about number 5. So it's 0.7 per 1,000 as far as violent crime, and then 9.6 per 1,000 for property crime. Now, much lower than the state and national averages. Bluffton consistently and it stays in that safety rating. It has ticked up a little bit in property crimes, but that's probably because it's growing so quick. It attracts retirees, second home buyers, families trying to escape those higher tax rates. It's old Bluffton alone. It feels like a movie set almost. It's that older style, low region, historic value. So it's safe, beautiful, but it's got very intentional growth in what it's doing, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, and also near Parris Island down there as well. Number 4, Lyman. Now we're heading back to the upstate for this one. This is more what people are calling Spartanburg safe haven. It is in Spartanburg County. It's actually a smaller city within Spartanburg County at only 6,700 population. It's almost pretty much a suburb of Spartanburg, sort of between Spartanburg and Greenville, but closer to Spartanburg. And many people are moving here. When we did the 10 most dangerous cities in South Carolina, Spartanburg was like number 5 for violent crime, and it was around number 5 also in total crime. So many people are moving out to even Lyman and doing that. It's a lot more quiet, almost suspiciously quiet. Violent crime is 0.2 per thousand. Property crime exists, but there's nothing alarming. This is a bedroom community between Greenville and Spartanburg, and people live here because it's peaceful, it's affordable, and nobody bothers you. If you want low stress living, this is it. Especially if you'd rather just commute to Spartanburg for work, but you want that safer environment, Lyman may be the way to go. Okay, number 3, Tega Cay. Now this is more toward the upstate too, close to about 30 minutes outside of Charlotte. So a lot of people, this one and the next one, my number 2 is Fort Mill coming up, but both of these, they are higher priced living though. Tega Cay is luxury, lake, and low crime. I mean, that is basically it in a nutshell. It's 0.2 per thousand as far as violent crime, and literally about 9 per thousand when it comes to property crime, resulting in 9.3 per thousand over total crime. So one of the safest out there, and the population's about 14,000. It's growing, and what it's doing there. This is what happens when money, planning, and community all agree. The total crime's under 10 per thousand. Violent crime's almost 0. You got Lake Wiley, you got golf, you got top tier schools. This is resort style living to the tune of 13, 14, and 15,000 in population, but it's living with elite safety stats. It's not cheap, but it's incredibly secure, and where a lot of people that are even living in Charlotte but want those South Carolina taxes and those tax breaks, those military breaks, this is where they're going. Okay, number 2, Fort Mill is a machine. The total crime is literally under 7 per 1,000. It's one of the safest, larger towns in the entire state. No murders last year at all. People move here for the schools, the proximity to Charlotte. It's got clean neighborhoods, the predictability. It's boring in the best possible way. Nothing dramatic happens here, and people absolutely love it. And it's still one of the fastest growing places around, that so many people are still working in Charlotte there, but yet it's got about 35,000 people and still growing. Make sure a lot of people are living there, but the cost of living, again, like many of these places, you're almost paying for that safety because the cost of living isn't near what it is in, say, Columbia and some of those metrics. If you're looking to purchase something, even in the Fort Mill, Bluffton, Tega Cay, and all of those, I know people everywhere. It doesn't even have to be me that helps you, but I can refer you to someone and make sure that you get the right help when you're up there. I always say 50% of agents out there are horrible and 50% are incredible. Let me introduce you to one of those incredible ones as you're looking, if you're looking to move in that upstate. Yes, I'm certified in all of South Carolina, but I want to make sure you have somebody, if I'm not as familiar with the area, that knows it literally by the street value, not just the statistics when you move there. Okay, the number 1 safest city in South Carolina. This one actually surprised me, but I could not be more proud because it's right here in my backyard and one that I sell a lot of homes in. Lexington, South Carolina. Pretty much welcome home. It's an astonishingly low crime rate of about 1.2 per 1,000 residents. You did not hear that wrong. It is 1.2 per 1,000 residents. 0.2 per thousand in violent crime, and 1 per thousand in property crime. What surprised me about this, Lexington's always been one of the safest cities in all of South Carolina, but it jumped 11 spots this year to claim the safest. In fact, Lexington's violent crime fell 92% this year, and its property crime fell 94% year over year. Now talk about some crackdown. Either somebody's making up these numbers or somebody really knows how to police a city. I couldn't even believe it. You're talking about a population of about 25,000. Now remember, when we talk about population in any of these cities, dig deeper. Lexington's about 25,000 in Lexington city limits. Most of your crime is in the downtown areas of most places in the city limits in their cities. So if it's that good there, it may be even better, but you got to look for those pockets, and you need somebody local to help you look for those. Give me a call and I will be glad to help you as far as everything that we do, part of that. This is why families flood to Lexington. They have the schools, they have the homes. That's why the homes sell so fast. This is why I live and work here. It's safe, it's family first, Lake Murray access. Lexington is the gold standard when it comes to safety, especially with everything they're doing right now. It is unreal. I told you, if you held on to the end, I'm going to tell you more about Columbia and the Midlands breakdown of all the suburbs here. Hang on quick, just like I did in the 10 most dangerous cities, and I broke it down with Columbia and the most violent crimes. I'm gonna break it down and go real quick with you here. This is what most people call me for, so I had to put this in as a bonus. Now Columbia, its total crime is around, this is the Columbia city limits, 34 to 35 crimes per 1,000. That's higher than the national average. And it's mostly driven by property crime. That crime is neighborhood specific. It's not random. Columbia isn't unsafe everywhere, but it is uneven. So let's start with Lexington. We don't need to talk about it too much. It's the safest in the state, period. We already went over that. Irma, total crime, it's about half of Columbia's at around 18 per 1,000. Now this has got the best balance of everything because it's got the schools, it's got the lake, it's got all the retail stuff at Harbison Boulevard that you're not far from it. It's right on 26 where you can go just about anywhere in the state and get there quickly. It's below the state and national average, and it's got a great balance of affordability plus safety. It's a solid all-around pick. Chapin, it's a very small town, got Lake Murray, it's the capital of Lake Murray. The crime is roughly right at the national average. It's very family and retiree friendly, quiet, predictable, and safe. Blythewood, what we're talking about with Scout Motors. And now, come to find out also, Audi is joining Scout Motors in here, and they're combining it. It's actually got pushed out as far as the launch date because Audi is coming in and joining them at the same time. Blythewood, the violent crime is low, property crime's moderate. There are some growth pains, and many neighborhoods are extremely safe, but there are some others that need vetting. You're out in a rural atmosphere, and what you're talking about with those, even as it's growing so hard, it needs some vetting. Call me, let's do it together. Forest Acres, downtown, this is a highly popular area, great location. Higher property crime, low violent crime. It's honestly, it's about the same as Columbia when it comes to crime and stuff. It feels safe. And the stats say, like I've said before, lock your cars, lock your houses. That takes care of over half of it. Forest Acres has their own police department. It's not considered its own city, but they are taking care of crime at a high rate, and there's a lot of things coming in. Now, Casey, South Carolina, and I went to Brooklyn, Casey, grew up in West Columbia. Casey's a mixed bag. It's very similar to a lot of these same places in Columbia, but there are some safe pockets. And there's some higher crime corridors. Street by street actually matters here. Let me show you where a lot of people are moving to in Casey and what's going on there. Now, West Columbia, it's one of the higher out there, and it's where I grew up. And I did not experience hardly any violent crime. or things like that growing up. But it does have a high property crime. It's got some incredible neighborhoods, but it also has some serious red flags. So it's not a blanket no, but it's also not beginner friendly. Northeast Columbia. This isn't really a city, but it's where Lake Carolina, the Summit, planned communities, it can be safer. There's some commercial corridors that are higher crime, even out near the Sand Hills Mall area. But it's got Wildwood, and there's a lot of newer subdivisions doing very well out there, and it's right there near Fort Jackson, and it's coming in at a lot lower cost as far as housing out there went. Those are just some of the main ones as we go through. South Carolina is safer than what a lot of people think if you choose correctly. The safest cities here aren't hype, they are data backed. And in the Midlands, the difference between Columbia and its suburbs can be the difference between stress and peace. If you're moving to South Carolina and safety matters, don't guess. Reach out to me. Give me a call, text, email me. I have been in the business long enough and doing things long enough that I can answer those questions for you. I've had 2 or 3 people call me lately that have realtors, and I gave them a little bit of piece of my advice. But if you're under contract, I cannot help you as far as buying a house, but it will not interrupt me from giving you my opinion as well. I want you to be here. The more and more I live here, I was telling this to my kids and even my parents the other day, I realized just how much Columbia has to offer. If you're not moving to my area, I'll still connect you with a vetted agent who knows the streets, not just the stats. Now, if this helped you, hit subscribe for me. Click that notification bell. I'm trying to get as many people as I can to help as far as helping move here to the Columbia area. Drop me a comment. If you know somebody that's looking for this type of information, share it for me. Don't just call me. Let's meet face to face and let's start a plan for you today. We'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully we'll actually see you at the closing table soon.